right, welcome to the weekend video. Let's check are you working? Yes. Welcome to the weekend video. This is Enda here from bullwaves.org. First of all, the website is being fixed. There's something wrong with it. I didn't do nothing. It just didn't work last night. So for all who were wondering what the heck was going on, we're having some website issues. Hopefully it'll be finished today. I did get an email saying that they were working on it or they were going to do something about it. So this happens once a year, usually. But be patient. We will be back, hopefully back with nightly updates tonight if they get the website working again. And I said I'll do this video anyway, and I'm sure you'll be able to find your way to the video, to the YouTube site. And I'll put it out on email as well. Okay, so apart from that, let's just get into it, I suppose. This is the long-term count, the daily count that I've been working with forever in Eurodollar. We had that sideways correction over the last year, a bit, 2 years maybe, actually. And now we're working high. Excuse me. Now we're working on a higher low to begin third wave up, I think. So we've got an interim correction coming in, wave 2, and we've just started in that. So we've got our 5 waves up in wave 1. We've got our interim correction underway in wave 2. Here's the 4-hour count. Here you can see the wave 1 top, and you can see a clear 3-wave decline into wave 2. That'll be wave A of 2 so far. If we go to the hourly count, you can see there's the 3 waves down in wave A. This sideways move for the last few weeks was pretty much a triangle. So the idea now is we've got 3 waves down done. We should have 3 waves up underway in wave B. And then again, we'll have to step lower again into wave C. And I do expect we break 110 as wave C and wave 2 complete. We're going to 4-hour count, you see. Somewhere down between these two fourth waves, I think, is probably where we'll find a low. So between 110 and 107, I don't know how that plays out just yet. I think this 107.30 area is about 50% retracement, so we can probably kind of eye a ballpark down around 108, 107. So for the moment, we seem to be correcting higher in 3 waves in wave B, and then that'll probably take most of next week, I would suggest. And I'm looking at pop up to the previous B wave, so back up near, and get this to work, back up near maybe 113.50, 114, that kind of area. We go up in ABC, and then towards the end of next week, I'd look for a turn down into wave C again. So 3 waves down in wave 2 overall. So far, so good. So we'll see how that goes. Continuing on into next week. Here is the daily count in pound dollar cable. You can see in wave 1 and 2, we had wave 1 rally. We had a running flat wave 2. You can see this A, B, C. Running flat because it didn't actually break the previous wave A low. So we've got an ABC running flat and a solid rally off that low. So we retraced into the previous high. And again, just like in Eurodollar, I'm actually looking for a reasonably significant decline back towards about 126, 125 in wave 2, but haven't exactly got confirmation on that one just yet. If you go to the 4-hour count, you can see we've got, this is wave 1 up. Possible wave A done, maybe working on wave B now. That's kind of ballpark that I'm looking at right now. 3 waves down in wave A, even though it's not actually that much of a decline just yet. We had a 5-wave rally earlier on this week. That was wave A of B. We've got, the moment we're working on 3 waves down in wave B, and that's probably what we should continue looking at today. So another small drop. Forgive me while I take a drink there. Another small drop into about 132 to complete wave B, and then wave C probably early next week. And that will complete 3 waves up in wave B. After that, we would look lower into wave C, and I would suggest that wave C should be much larger because the previous fourth wave is a long way down. It's about 500-600 points lower now from the current location. So if we get wave B more or less in the bag by early next week, then we should be looking at wave C down, ideally towards the end of next week, maybe. Anyway, this is still kind of in the cooker, still developing, and we will see how that plays out over the next few days. Okay, there's the hourly count again. You can see wave B. Wave B of B is what I'm looking for today. So 3 waves down in wave B to finish about 132.20, and we'll see how that goes after that. I mean, if we continue lower and we accelerate, then maybe we're starting wave C quicker than I thought. We'll leave that up. All right, let's move on. The daily count in dollar yen. The continuous conundrum that is the US dollar. If we are going to rally, I'm reasonably, confident in the euro dollar count. So, a stronger euro, weaker dollar scenario up as we go up into a wave 3. Now, dollar yen. Even on this particular wave count, I'm reasonably confident that this is what we should expect. A stronger dollar. So is it a weaker dollar or a stronger dollar? Well, that kind of depends on the currency you're looking at, I think. This wave count here might suggest a much weaker yen rather than, comparatively much weaker yen than a stronger dollar in general. So we've got wave A down done. We've got a expanded flat wave B, and then we've got C wave, which could possibly still be underway. I'm kind of up in the air about this. I was speaking about this in last night's update, but I couldn't update, so forgive me for that. 3 waves down in wave C of 2, possibly done, but let's go to the hourly count and I'll show you what I'm thinking about here. Sorry, the 4-hour count. We could have this extended kind of wedge pattern here in wave C. So the fact that the price reversed quite impulsively off that previous high, and we still seem to only have 3 waves up into this week's high, it does suggest that this is still a corrective move, and at the moment there's nothing to kind of counteract that, to be quite honest. So if we are still declining in wave C, then we should head lower next week. So you can see this is the 3-wave pattern higher in wave 4. I had actually switched to the bullish count, but that has gone out the window now. 3 waves up in wave A, 3 down in wave B, and then a 5-wave rally up in wave C. At the moment, it is hard to know. There's very little action early today. There wasn't much action overnight. It looks like whatever recovery today might well be corrective. So looking for a lower high in wave 2 today. And then we would head lower into wave 3 early next week, probably. So the conundrum in dollar yen continues. Let's go back here. Conundrum in dollar yen continues, or the conundrum in the dollar really continues, because I just find it's against the grain. Usually you would have these markets working against each other, but at the moment they're kind of moving in sync, which is kind of strange. Okay, so I'm leaning towards a further decline in wave 5 of C at the moment. We'll see how that works out early next week. Okay, let's go to the daily count in the Dow. 3 waves down in A, completed at the low, the initial decline into about 36,400, 36,500, somewhere there. And now 3 waves up in wave B. I'm kind of switching in general towards the idea of calling this a final fifth wave rather than a B wave. But anyway, neither here nor there at the moment. We have 3 waves up We broke the 62% retracement level of the previous decline. We have a solid internal pattern here, and we'll go to the short-term count now to see what we make of that. And you can see on the daily count here, you can see we have the 200 MA on the daily pattern. We've got that solid death cross there. We've got the 200 MA and flatlining, and price is about to meet that 200 MA right now. So the previous time we met that 200 MA was back in late March, and we bounced, impulsively off that. So I think we could be entering a technical selling point here in terms of, the larger market players. This would be a standard area where you would look towards a retracement. If we blow clean through that, then my thesis will probably start to lose air. But if we start bouncing off this 200 MA, then we're getting into risky territory again. So let's go to the 4-hour count here. You can see here's 3 waves up in wave A of B, and 3 waves down in wave B of B. And then I've been looking at kind of a wedge pattern up into wave C of B. You can see that we are close to the previous B wave high. So that comes in at 42,800. Actually, if we go to the daily count, we expand that a bit. We get a measure on that. 200 MA comes in at 42,660. So we're actually very close to that now, 42,660. We're 230 points off that right now. We could hit that level today. We could reverse off that level today. If we do, that will make next week a very exciting week, I think. Especially if we get a reversal off it today to start the week, or to end the week. But even Monday, if we begin the week with a down day on Monday, that would be kind of ideal, I think. So that would call an end to wave C of B, and we would look for 5 waves down in wave 1, as shown here on the hourly count. I think we can probably disband that at the moment. We have a final 3-wave pattern running higher in wave 5 of C of B right now. We've got ABC up, and if we mark the previous B wave high, that gives us 42,860, and we said the 42,660, so somewhere in about there. You can see the cluster of target levels right there. The previous level here is where wave C reached equality with wave A. So we have just broken above that twice, where wave C in green reached equality with wave A in green. So we have an A equals C, we have 3 waves up, we have a wedge pattern, we have the previous B wave high, we have the 200 MA level at 42,600. We have any amount of overbought indicators, and signaling that you're in dangerous territory here. We have the simple MACD showing a reversal off an extreme high. Oh, all as usual. All we have everything except the actual reversal. So I'm looking for wave 1. We'll see how that turns out next week, or maybe even today. Okay, let's move on. Here's the daily count in gold. We have come down in 3 waves. We've hit the initial upper channel line of the previous rally. So the upper channel line came in actually at about 30, maybe 3,100, somewhere there. Let's see, 3,140. The price traced out 3 waves down and then bounced off that upper channel line. The idea here is that we have a third wave, a very large degree third wave complete. and we should be turning down into wave A of 4. But the initial target for that wave A is about 2,500. We ain't down there yet, are we? So the 4-hour count, you can see a kind of I should really change that, to be quite honest. Anyway, the hourly count, forgive me. We've got 3 waves down in wave A of A of A. That'll be so. If this is correct, this is going to be a lot of 3-wave patterns thrown at us over the next few months. So if you go to daily count again, this would be wave A, and we're only working on 1/3 the degree of this initial decline in wave A here in blue. So if we go to the current pattern, we've filled a trend channel down in 3 waves. We've bounced off the previous 3rd wave high, so we've kind of came down to meet that previous 3rd wave high, and we've bounced off that level to form a higher low right now. I'm looking for 3 waves up in wave A of B, and you'll have to forgive the kind of repetition of A's and B's here, but they are all happening in different degrees, if you can understand what I'm saying. And I'll try and emphasize the color and the different delineations, circular brackets, square brackets, that kind of thing. Try and keep these things separately, but 3 waves up is what you'd expect initially in wave A in blue here. We haven't got there yet. We do have a clean 5-wave pattern down in the previous C waves. That does suggest that we are done with ABC down. And we would look for initial 3-wave bounce into wave A of B. Now, maybe I'm expecting too much in this B wave. I don't really know. But I'm kind of suggesting that the kind of 50% retracement back up of the previous decline, back towards 33.10, somewhere around there, would form the initial target for wave B in green. At the moment, I'm kind of allowing it a little bit more leeway, just because gold has been doing what gold has been doing over the last while. But initially, look for wave A in blue to complete with somewhere around 3,300, and then towards the end of next week, I'd look for a turn down into wave B. So early next week, wave A in blue should complete, and then we'd look for a turn down into wave B. Okay, so let's move on. Crude oil. You can see that we are again forming a lower high in crude oil. We've got the pattern within wave 5 here moving. I'm not going to say it's perfect or anything, but we're moving along in a reasonable trajectory at the moment. 4-hour count, you can see that we've got the 5-wave pattern playing out quite well at the moment. I'm still suggesting that this recent decline and lower high is forming wave 1 and 2 of wave 5, but excuse me now. But let me finish that. We could also have a type of running flat 4th wave here as well. So either we're well into wave 5 or we're about to begin wave 5 next week. So that has yet to be decided. The action to finish the week is suggesting that we are turning lower again in general, and you can see that on the hourly count. We're turning lower in an impulsive fashion into let's say wave 3 of 5. So again, I'm looking for another lower high in wave 2 before we accelerate down into wave 3 of 5. You can see the alternate count for wave 4 would still allow for another pop towards $65 again to kind of close out that larger pattern. I wouldn't be against that. I mean, that's it's neither here nor there really. I think in general we still have a 3-wave sideways pattern, which is corrective, and then a 4th position of a 4th wave. So we should head lower into a 5th wave eventually anyway. So let's say today, if we finished wave 2, that'd be great, and we turn down at wave 3 early next week, that'd be even better. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we go for the daily count on the S&P. We've bounced higher in the S&P than in the Dow. We've broken that previous 200 MA of the daily count, so that's a little bit concerning. It doesn't take away from the fact that we have a three-wave pattern overall to a lower high. So we've got 3 down in A, 3 up in B, and we should head lower into wave C of A coming soon. Now, the extended nature of the rally has kind of created another extreme overbought kind of indication on MACD and RSI, but we are showing a kind of a reversal or a slowdown anyway in momentum, or a momentum reversal at least, off the top of that extreme. Now the price might drift a little bit higher, but I think in general we have reached a point of exhaustion, and the hourly count will show you that, I think, in great detail. You can see that's the previous wave A up, 3 waves down in wave B, and we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Within wave 5, we've got an ABC pattern. So we're drifting within the wedge pattern higher. The early trade this morning, so there's not much going on in the futures yet. We'll talk over here into 1, so the futures should be open pretty soon. If they are open, we haven't got much to show for it. I think the initial decline into wave 1 blue here should take us back to the previous fourth wave here. So about 5,500, 5,570 is where we mark the previous fourth wave. So about 5,500 should be broken really as wave 1 down takes over. And that'll be wave 1 of wave 1. So if we get the next degree label here, and we have wave 1 of wave 1. Now you can see here the 100% Fibonacci level here. This is the level where wave C reached equality with wave A. So wave C has broken above the equality level with wave A. We still have 3 waves up, a clear 3-wave pattern to a lower high. The previous B wave was at 57.80. So that, to me, that marked a nice, a pretty important level, because we had almost to the pip, we had the previous B wave and A equals C within the 3-wave pattern. So I haven't changed here. I think this is still a B wave lower high in general. Nothing to indicate yet that we have topped out in wave 5 of C of B, except the fact that we've got this real kind of a momentum death here at the top of wave 5. So let's see if that changes today. Would be good, maybe to end the week. Like I said, in the Dow, even better if we ended the week with a nice sharp move lower. That'd be great. We'll see how that goes. Futures don't suggest that right now, anyway. Okay, so silver, the daily count, you can see I have been working on, or operating with, let's say, the 1-2-1-2 pattern. And we're just bouncing in limbo land here at the moment, off the top of wave C. That's the 1-2-1-2. We have, again, a lower high. We've got a series of lower highs in here, and we've got the potential for a reversal into a third wave now. So we've got wave 2 up, we've got a wave 1, possible wave 2, a wave 1, a wave 2, a turn down into a possible wave 3. We'll see how that goes today. The longer this goes on, the more kind of weary and kind of mystifying it becomes. But a third of a third really should take us back below 29, 28 even, pretty quickly. We'll see how that plays out today. I have said numerous times that as long as we keep kind of posting those lower highs, and as long as we keep moving with the intention of at least the intention of an impulsive move lower, then I should, stick with this wave count. And that's where I am. Let's see how that works out next week. But suffice to say, I think, it would be nice to see a turn down into wave 3 today. And we'll see how that goes. Okay, that ends that. Give you the news in the markets. I always end each of these videos. Please don't turn off. But I do notice that most of you actually have turned off by now anyway. But so if anyone is still listening, we are mortal creatures. If you have not, I don't know who it was that said, if you have not contemplated your final moments, if you have not contemplated your death, then you are not worthy of life, really. I can't remember who said that. The same can be said for salvation, for eternal life, rather than eternal death. I mean, if you haven't contemplated it, if you haven't brought yourself to actually think about these things, and everybody is capable, cognizant to do it. Well, I say everybody, but most people. Those who aren't cognizant, I think Jesus said, you don't have to worry about them. Their blessing lies ahead of them. I really do think that we are actually given these people who are of less ability or of diminished capacity, both mentally and physically. Really, they are meant to teach us how to actually love, because the movies have this kind of completely ass backwards view of love. In the movies, love is sex, or love is physical attraction, or love is kind of chemistry, or love is kind of like connection or something like that, which is complete bullshit. Because Jesus said, love your enemy. Do you have a physical attraction or chemistry with your enemy? No. So love is something much more than that. It's to will the good of the other for the other's sake. It's to pour out of yourself. It's to diminish yourself and to raise up the position of others, even to your own detriment. And Jesus did that. God in the flesh, creator of all things, diminishing himself to the point of death for the betterment of others. That is love. That's the definition of love. Taking on everybody's sin, even though he was sinless himself. Took on the punishment for your sin, and all he asked you to do is to believe. To have his righteousness placed upon you. So that you're, go forward in your life then, deal with the everyday problems, accept the Messiah, accept what he did for you, died on the cross for your sins, and rose on the third day, proving that he was sinless himself, and proving that your sins have been paid for. So it serves both things. So admit you're a sinner, believe in Jesus, that he died on the cross for you and rose on the third day, and confess him as Lord of your life, and then go on with your life. And love. Try to love, at least. All right, I'll leave you with that, and we go onwards and upwards. And hopefully the website will be ready, back in action by tonight, and I can actually update tonight. But if not, I think I'll just do an email blast with the charts, and hopefully over the weekend they'll get this website back up in action, and we can move on from there. Okay. Until then, see you next week on YouTube. Hopefully see you tonight on the website. If not, over the weekend or on Monday anyway. Please God. Bye-bye.